domestic violence at its worst. Miss Pollard here, age 52, gunned down by her husband, age 47, on February 9th, 2025 in Richmond, Texas. This should never happen. They had 2 kids. What went wrong? Who knows? Domestic violence is wrong. Don't do it.
To see what was happening outside his front door at 8903 Rocky Knoll Lane.
So around 12:30, I was going to take my daughter to the park, run some energy off, get ready for the Super Bowl. So I came out and the police cruisers was barreling down the street, and they went to my neighbor's house. And when they approached the house, I saw them just apprehend him and subdue him. He went peacefully into the vehicle.
In a statement, Lamar Consolidated ISD confirms that David Pollard killed his wife Iona inside their home Sunday. The district says Iona was an instructional coach at George Junior High School. District Superintendent Roosevelt Niven says in part, quote, "Our thoughts are with Iona's 2 children, who are also a part of Lamar CISD family. The loss of their mother and the circumstances of this tragedy are incredibly heartbreaking. We extend our deepest condolences to the Pollard children, their families, friends, and all who knew Iona, particularly her colleagues and students at George Junior High," end quote. Priester says he knows the Pollard family well, describing them as nice and welcoming. He adds this tragedy will rattle this tight-knit neighborhood.
And, it was just shocking to see. I was like, whoa, nothing ever really happens here because this is a peaceful community, close-knit place, kind of place you raise your family. You never see anything happen like this. Connected with us, welcomed us in, like I said. Me and the husband, the father, we usually talk, share stories about work, about life, about our kids, raising families. And we often share, food, barbecue, and, just to kind of, show our love and appreciation for each other.
And at this time, Fort Bend County sheriffs say this investigation is still ongoing. Reporting from Rosenberg, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
Lamar CISD is grieving the loss of a staff member who was allegedly killed by her husband, who also works at the district.
Yeah, in fact, he's the safety coordinator and is now charged with murder in his wife's shooting death this weekend. Jason Miles is live outside the Fort Bend County Jail where the suspect is being held. Jason.
That's right, 47-year-old David Pollard is being held here on a $300,000 bond at this hour. I'm told by neighbors that he came out with his hands up yesterday when deputies responded to his home. Today, many still trying to process what happened. David Pollard was appointed Lamar CISD's safety coordinator in 2020.
Our team is also trained to screen social media platforms for any potential threats.
4 years later, the 47-year-old is charged with murder in the shooting death of his wife, Iona. The 52-year-old mother was also a Lamar CISD employee and is seen here in a 2022 Facebook post by George Junior High School, where she worked as an instructional coach. That's her husband in the same post, helping to wish her a happy birthday. I'm told counselors and others were available at the school today as many continued to learn about Ms. Pollard's murder.
Yes, sir. This is a tragic situation. It's really heartbreaking. I was devastated.
Neighbors tell us they saw Mr. Pollard exit his home on Rocky Knoll Lane with his hands up Sunday afternoon when Fort Bend County Sheriff's deputies responded to a wellness check call. According to the sheriff's office, deputies located Ms. Pollard deceased from an apparent gunshot wound inside the residence.
Heartbroken. Saw the faces of the family as they came by. Each family member, you could just see it, just tearing their heart out.
While exact circumstances of the alleged murder remain unclear, those who knew the couple cannot imagine what might have sparked a deadly encounter.
It's a close-knit community. Nothing really happens like that here.
And this afternoon, the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office telling me they have no previous calls for service at the address where all of this happened yesterday. Meantime, Mr. Pollard, who has held other security-related jobs, including for the Texas Medical Center, has no criminal record. I'm told the couple's 2 daughters, also part of the Lamar CISD family, the district grieving for them today. Reporting live from Richmond, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Jason, thank you.
About the man arrested for the murder of his wife, a Lamar CISD employee. The Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office says 47-year-old David Pollard shot and killed Iona Pollard yesterday at their home off Rocky Knoll Lane in Rosenberg. He is now charged with murder. Devon Roming joining us live from outside George Junior High School in Rosenberg, where Pollard's wife worked. And this case really hitting the district hard. Devon.
Yeah, it really is, Sherman. A lot of people taking this to heart who knew Miss Iona Pollard. People have been coming and going here at the George Junior High School all morning long, where the district tells us that there are counseling and supportive services here on hand for teachers, students, and staff who have all been touched by this horrible tragedy. Now, her husband, 47-year-old David Pollard, is currently being held on a $300,000 bond after being charged with murder in connection to Iona's death. David Pollard, we're told, is also an employee with Lamar CISD, and investigators with the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office say it's unclear what happened in the moments leading up to the shooting, but this tragedy has left neighbors and those who knew the Pollards stunned and in shock.
She was absolutely, just quiet type of person. When you see her, she was eager to say hello. She was enthusiastic to speak to you. Real good family, real quiet family, something that you just wouldn't expect to happen. You never know what's going on behind closed doors.
Iona Pollard leaves behind 2 children who are also students in Lamar CISD. The district released the following statement saying, in part, the loss of their mother and the circumstances of this tragedy are incredibly heartbreaking. Now, we are still working to find out when David Pollard's first court appearance will take place here in Fort Bend County. And of course, once we learn that, we will be sure to bring you the details from that hearing once we get them. Live in Rosenberg, Devon Roming, KHOU 11 News.
A big impact on that school district. Devon, thank you.
Makes bond.
So let's get to ABC 13's Nick Notario live outside George Junior High School. That's where the victim worked. Nick, the latest on the investigation. Also, I can't imagine the reaction there from the community.
Matter of fact, we were just talking to parents waiting to pick up their kids, and they are just heartbroken, trying to understand exactly what happened out here. The victim, the district says, was a cherished instructor here at the junior high. The suspect, her husband, is also a district employee who is a leader within the police department, which is why parents in the community out here are trying to make sense of all of this.
Lamar CISD says this man has spent years working in law enforcement. Tonight, he's the one behind bars. David Pollard is charged with murder after deputies were called to his Rosenberg home. They found his wife, Iona Pollard, dead from a gunshot wound, a death that hit Lamar CISD community hard.
Really shocked, disbelief, just sad for the kids.
The district says Iona Pollard was an instructional coach at George Junior High School. David Pollard also worked within the district. The district's police department shared this social media post about him. They said that he was the school safety coordinator, working to make sure campuses had best practices and that students and staff were prepared for any kind of emergency, a crisis the district is now dealing with. They say counselors are available. One staff member told ABC 13 Iona Pollard was her mentor and wanted to share memories with us. However, the district denied us from being able to talk to anyone. Court documents show Pollard had bail set at $300,000. If he gets out, he can't go near his wife's family or George Junior High. The school community reeling by what happened.
Horrible. I mean, my daughter comes here. It's just real sad that it happened, and, bless her family.
For the crime, we did ask them if they've ever gone out to calls to that address. They told us that they had no prior calls of service. Domestic violence experts here in Fort Bend County say the number of calls of service that they are dealing with have gone up here in the area. They're not exactly sure why. They do say that if you need help or know someone that does, you can always call them, the number 281-342-HELP. You can also visit their website, that's fbwc.org, and they have a chat function right on the main page, so you don't even have to talk to anyone over the phone. Live.
Please subscribe.